Hi, I'm Dmytro Shvets, your host at the Start Global Insights, where I interview experts from different countries about local business secrets and international expansion experience. Today we will talk about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and my guest today is Kostyantyn Gridin. He has more than 20 years of experience in advising clients as a partner at CFC Big Ideas, an international business consultancy, where he is responsible for business development in the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Hi, Konstantin.
Hi, Dmytro.
Could you tell a bit more how come that you ended up dealing with these interesting markets?
Yes, 27 years ago, almost, I made a very important decision of my life. I started learning Arabic language at the Ukrainian University of International Relations. So since then, I managed to study in Arab countries, to work with different Arab countries. And it was mainly because of the language studies that drove me towards learning more about the culture, willing more to do business with these countries, setting up an office in Dubai, and then spending significant time in Saudi Arabia, where I am right now.
Can we start our conversation with this case that just happened when you have been running to this interview? What you should know not to be late to the meeting?
Absolutely. Saudi Arabia has a very special culture that generally tolerates people being late. For everyone being late, they said inshallah. So that means by God's will, he was not on time for the meeting. That's the general tradition. But in the modern business world, obviously, people, if you are meeting a high profile decision maker, you have to make it on time.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the pieces of advice I was given in my recent videos on my own YouTube channel that I started recently, that you need to keep a driver with you. It's not advisable to have a taxi and get from meeting to a meeting by calling a taxi. Of course, Uber is here, Kareem, the local Uber, also is here, and they're quite developed. But roads of Riyadh and other big cities of Saudi Arabia, like Jeddah and Dammam, are also very hectic during the rush hours, especially now. It's about 2 to 3 o'clock is when people are getting off their work and go to schools to pick up their children. And then they may come back to work an hour or 2 hours later. So it's not like traditional 9 to 5 working hours, but rather flexible working day, which also includes time when they go and spend time for their children during the day.
Coming back to the general understanding of the country, yeah, because it is quite mysterious and closed to the Western world, and the information that is in internet might be not exactly what it is in reality. From your experience, what steps should the foreign company, or for example, Ukrainian company like candy producer or software development company, make to expand its sales to Saudi? What first things that they should keep in mind?
First things keeping in mind is that who are your target clients and which language do they speak? Because if you talk in business to business environment like consultancies, companies like we are, everybody's good in English. But if you're expanding with B2C products, you have to understand your final customer who may not have a good understanding of English. That's number one. And then if you don't speak Arabic, of course, you need to have someone who does speak Arabic and also understand the nature of your product and help you advise on marketing. This could be your local agents, of course, who speak English to communicate to you and also have a good understanding of the local market. But then there are also a few important rules how you have to select those agents.
This is quite important not to be mistaken by this, because you actually invest all your time and resources in this agent and you rely on them on making business on your behalf.
Yes, but generally people prefer not to invest time and especially money into agents. So they rely on agent doing the business for them in exchange for some kind of commission. That's on one part, that's the right thing to do. This is what the agents are for. On the other hand, you have to manage those agents and understand if they're doing well, you have to continue the relationship. If they are not doing well, then you have to have means and provisions in your contract to let them go. While the
Mm-hmm.
nature of people who work as agents in Saudi Arabia is rather to request you an exclusive agreement for a long period of time right when you start the relationship with them. And that's a big
Mm-hmm.
mistake many company I know have made, not only Ukrainian ones, but companies generally coming from different parts of the globe. They were impressed by someone's maybe a big name or connections, or primarily big name and connections.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm related to this famous business clan, or even some people were part of the royal family, which also has many members. Some of them are more influential, the others are not. And they got into this trap of signing with them for 2, 3, sometimes 5 years exclusive agreement, giving them rights to represent them on the whole market of Saudi Arabia, instead of maybe selecting a niche to try with them first. And then they ended up having nothing without being able even to fire that agent or cancel the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing everyone coming to Saudi Arabia, which looks for agents to have in mind. And before selecting an agent, you really need to test the waters yourself. First of all, to understand if the agent is right, if the agent understands your niche and product well. Talk to different agents and compare their level of expertise and connections. So all that work you cannot delegate it to agents themselves. That is something that you have to do by yourself before selecting the agents who would represent you on the ground.
And if I understood right, you need to make a kind of a test with them. Yeah, so you need to select some niche and some small period of time of agency.
Yeah, so generally these agents requesting exclusivity for one main reason, so that
Uh-huh.
the if they represent you today and they are coming to you to a potential client like a big company, or they start doing business for you, so that tomorrow another agent does not come to the same market, to the same client,
Mm-hmm.
and does the same to overlap their efforts. That's a very
Yeah. Yeah.
justified request, because many people in Saudi Arabia do trade or sales, because this is their most traditional business field, not the oil, which emerged only 70 years ago, or not production, which also started emerging about 20 to 30 years ago. Trade and mediatorship was the traditional business of the Saudi people for centuries. And
Mm-hmm.
to be able to represent you effectively, they need to have some kind of exclusivity. But the thing is, you don't have to give them exclusivity for the whole market. For example, if
Mm-hmm.
someone is very good and has good relation and understanding, of, let's say, of the telecom industry, you may give them the exclusive agreement for the telecom for maybe 3 to 6 months for the first trial period. If they are
Mm-hmm.
able to deliver what they promised, then you can extend for 1 more year. So the more
Mm-hmm.
they deliver, the more you can extend the agreement. And that also relates to regions. For example, if someone is located in Riyadh and they know the market well, if this is a B2C product that they have to distribute in the supermarkets, for example, the candies, sweet,
Mm-hmm.
oil, honey, whatever, then you don't have to give them exclusivity for the whole Saudi Arabia, which is 3 times bigger than Ukraine, which is the biggest country in Europe. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, you have to be smart and cautious when managing your agents network, whom you definitely need on the local market, but again, have to manage them.
Clear. So coming back to the steps, the first step is to understand your client. So you are either selecting the B2C or B2B, and then the language and understand. So this is like actually in any market that you are entering in. Yeah. So you need to understand your
Exactly.
client.
Yeah. So there is no not much difference, but
Mm.
when it comes to agent, Saudi Arabia is very special. So you'll need local
Mm-hmm.
distributors, but their request maybe kind of different from what the agents in other countries are requesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, clear. So you identified your clients. You understood that it is this segment, yeah, and for example, the B2B segment, yeah. So you are selling to companies. What is your next step?
What I mean by the process of identification. So identifying the customer is not just finding them on the map or finding them on the list of some companies.
Mm-hmm.
By identifying the customer, it means you have already talked with them, you send them a proposal, you got feedback, and those from whom you got the best feedback are probably
Mm-hmm.
your ideal customer. You
Mm-hmm.
then adjust your proposal, you come back to them, and basically the process from identification of the ideal customer to selling, there is no clear border when the one process ends and the other process starts.
Mm-hmm.
They all make part of the same process when you start approach someone until you finally close a deal. And there are many
Okay.
issues that coming up along the way, from setting the right price, terms and conditions. That comes for both physical goods or B2C products and B2B, from setting the right price, the T&C, that you work with your distributors or with your and customers directly, and ending up with payment terms, delivery terms, and so on. You are
Mm-hmm.
studying all of that by doing or learning by doing business.
Learning by doing. So identifying clients and investigating the country and the market at the same time.
Yes.
How easy it is now to find clients? So are there any open source databases, or are they active on LinkedIn? How do you approach the market?
B2B providers are present on LinkedIn. I wouldn't say
Mm-hmm.
that they are more active on LinkedIn than Europeans or Americans. I would say the biggest social network in Saudi Arabia is Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
When they discuss social issues, sports, of course, they don't discuss politics internally because this is a monarchy. And
Mm-hmm.
well, they watch a lot of videos on YouTube. And if you're trying to reach the B2C customers, so Twitter and YouTube and Instagram are the best social media. If you're trying to reach the B2B customers, LinkedIn is the best, as everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about the trade shows and exhibitions? Are they still working? Is it worth going there?
Absolutely, and they are working, and I would say they are working like never before.
Ah,
So today is the third day of LEAP, the tech conference and exhibition that claims to be the most attended tech event worldwide.
mm-hmm.
So that's one example. Last week it was a Big Five Construct exhibition, which is kind of a replication of Big Five Construct exhibition in Dubai, and it's gaining traction year by year. So a few years ago they started. There was a really small exhibition, and now the focus of attention of the construction industry is shifting towards Saudi Arabia big time, and a lot of companies are coming to get their new business. So now,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if you are attending an exhibition, it could be hard for you to get your head around what you're going to do, because if you try attending an exhibition and you try to sell your product to someone exhibiting there,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
to me that's a waste of time. But if you invest in a booth and
Mm-hmm.
you do it the right way, and your value proposition is right, you may see many customers. That's one thing. And many people who are coming as your potential agents to represent you. So instead of
Mm-hmm.
looking for those agents online and asking if you are if someone is ready to represent you, you would rather see many people coming if you invest in a booth at a local trade fair.
Coming back to the lead generation, so imagine that we will have a company that is not having any network in Saudi. Yeah, so they are new to the market. How would you advise them to find clients, and apart from the expo, for example?
Yeah, so the traditional lead generation methods work in Saudi as well, like they are in other country. Though my observation that those leads had a relatively lower rate of conversion into customers. So they generally like clicking ads, registering, dropping their details at landing pages. But if your lead generation funnel includes some kind of like webinar or a personal meeting, not many people show up at those meetings. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just I've done lead generation in other regions as well, and I can say that the show up rate is relatively lower.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you just have to consider this when doing those lead generation. Don't be upset that, let's say, you got 10 leads and only one of them schedule a call with you. That's the
Mm-hmm.
cost of your lead generation that you have to take into account when building your sales funnel. And
Mm-hmm.
the only advice I can give here is just to improve your value proposition so that the number of leads will get higher, and then the
Mm-hmm.
conversion rate will also be higher as well.
Mm-hmm. How do you understand the value if the value proposition is correct and chosen? How do you investigate that prior to marketing campaign?
There is no way to investigate it prior to marketing campaign. Then you start the marketing campaign.
Testing.
You do the first test. You see the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
If you and the only chance to investigate or validate those ideas is to talk to people you already know. That
Yeah.
this is, let's say, this is my competitive advantage compared to someone who's just doing an online campaign sitting outside of the country without knowing anyone. So before doing a
Mm-hmm.
campaign, I'm of course checking out with my contacts who can give me advice whether this product is interesting to them or not, and then based on that feedback, I start building the
Mm-hmm.
online generation tools, landing pages, and sales funnel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is about the inbound lead generation. Yeah, so when you are making a flow of potential clients to your account or to your landing page, what about the outbound? Is it possible to sell from scratch in Saudi by going to clients, making cold calls, or just visiting their offices?
Visiting their office without invitation,
Mm-hmm.
that's really hard. If you just make a call, myself, I had only one case when I sold through the cold call in my 20 years of career.
Mm-hmm.
Only one. And then it is a very likely coincidence and one exception that only proves the rule. They have to know about you before meeting you and probably have know about your product before they make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rather suggest finding a way to send them this information in the form of a landing page or the PDF file or any kind of proposal,
You mean by email?
even by email. But also unsolicited email gives no trust, so you'd better
Mm-hmm.
do some more things on social media. So my advice and my own strategy, I minimize the time that I spend going to events. I would rather maximize the time that I spend on doing content about myself or my product or my clients' products,
Mm-hmm.
and that pays off much better than you chasing clients.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So you make clients that they will see your content and then you contact them.
Yes, so
Mm-hmm,
they can see your content if it goes viral organically, or they can see your content if you pay for ads. You can
mm-hmm,
localize your content if you need it, especially when you're working on B2C product. You need to localize your value proposition and probably do something in the local language, not only with people like myself who understand Arabic, but also with people on the ground who speak Arabic throughout their life and who consume product locally so that they better understand the local consumers.
mm-hmm,
In some cases, the localization of your value proposition is needed. In some cases, if you're targeting people who primarily speak English, you don't need it. At the end of the day, every product has its own customer journey.
There is a saying that, at least I've heard that before selling in Arabic Peninsula, you need to drink tea with potential client for 1 year. How true is that?
Yes, it was true 5 years ago and very true 10 years ago. Why? Because there was no social media. And the only way for a client to test you, to establish trust with you, was to go and drink tea with you, to spend time, to see how you behave, how you talk, to know about your family, to know more about your business. Now, the digital profiles that every one of us have and our companies have, they kind of replace this long conversation and tea talks and other things. So right now you have an established public profile. If you're very known overseas in your own home country and you have an established English profile digitally, you may save that those months and years of drinking tea by going to business straight away.
Yeah, so coming back to negotiations and negotiation culture, are there any tips and tricks that you would advise to know while negotiating with your potential clients in Saudi Arabia?
First of all, that's a general rule that applies very much, I would say, to a big extent in Saudi Arabia. Don't, if you're impatient, don't show your impatience. So you don't have to rush. If someone wants to negotiate along with you, that means they simply have no urgent need in your product. The harder you're pushing, the less likely you'll get what you want in terms of price, in terms of contract terms, in terms of time, delivery, and so on. So it is a much better way to wait and look for another customer who has an urgent need than pushing and following up and asking the feedback from the customers that don't have that need. So being patient, that's number one. Second, the longer are the negotiation, because negotiation is also part of your relationship building. You may have calls, you may have physical meetings, you may have email correspondence. The more, the longer they negotiate with you, the more likely they will sign with you. So instead of spending that time that we talked about on tea and just knowing each other as people, they may spend time with you knowing you as a negotiator. This is much better because you skip the social part of networking and you saving time on that. But your behavior in negotiation will affect how you go with them in business. So don't show your impatience and don't rush with anything unless they want to do it. And then when they can do it, they are willing to rush. This is when you can catch your big fish.
How open you can be in this negotiation? I mean, do they tend to have this hidden agenda or hide something, and how open you can be with negotiations with them?
Yes, Saudis have a very important feature in their business culture. They cannot say any unpleasant things straight to you in the face. So if they, let's say, don't like your product, they can tell you tomorrow, inshallah. Inshallah means by God's will. And then if they don't have intention to buy from you, they may say, oh, maybe next month, or maybe 2 months, or maybe 3 months, whatever. That means if they don't get back to you, don't push them, don't follow up too hard with them. By saying tomorrow, they may have meant as just a polite no answer. In terms of direct feedback on your product, that's the same thing. They're unlikely to say any unpleasant things straight in the face to you. You have to be ready for that and judge them not by the words but by the actions. If someone told you, "Oh, we're gonna buy from you," don't take it by word. Wait until they take an action. Will they send you the
Mm-hmm.
contract? Will they request a contract from you? Will they ask you when are you going to deliver? If they're not doing that, they probably have no intention to work with you or no intention to work with you right now.
What about women in negotiations? What is the attitude? Because now I see a lot of my contacts and clients that they have women sending to sell to Arabic countries and especially into Saudis. Are there something that you should consider by doing that?
Yes, the role of women in Saudi Arabia has drastically changed in the last 5 years. As you may know, in 2018, they were allowed to drive cars. And that
Mm-hmm.
was only one small change in the whole multitude of reforms and decisions that the government made to advance the role of women in the society. Even before the change of driving, it was quite okay or very normal to have a women on the other side of the negotiation table. And
Mm-hmm.
for someone who is European, you would be very surprised to see or sit across the table with a woman who is wheeled. You don't see her face, and sometimes you may not
Mm-hmm.
see her eyes because their wheels, some of their wheels cover their eyes as well. But
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, I was in an exhibition and at an IBM stand, and then a wheeled woman just waved me and approached me by herself to tell me about the new products of IBM in AI and machine learning. And it was
Mm-hmm.
quite normal. We connected on LinkedIn instantly. I didn't see her face, I only saw her eyes. But
Mm-hmm.
it's very normal to talk to Saudi women in business. It's very normal to have them on different positions. It's very normal for foreign women to come to Saudi, and I've heard a lot of feedback from foreign women that they feel much safer in Saudi Arabia than in Europe or the United States in terms of their
Mm-hmm.
own personal safety. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking about business.
Are there any rules that should be applied to European women coming to Saudi to negotiations, like wearing abaya or something
Well,
like that?
not necessarily. That was a rule for wearing abayas also 5 years back, but that was abolished.
Mm-hmm.
And usually you have to dress modestly. That's the only thing. Don't have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
body parts open. Don't wear mini skirts and so on. You may
Mm-hmm.
wear an abaya respecting local rules because still most of the local women still wear an abaya, even though it's not compulsory. So
Mm-hmm.
don't hesitate if you have a talented woman who is willing to come to Saudi to send her. You will have no regrets, and she hopefully has will have no regrets about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, clear. And just summarizing the part about negotiations, do you need to know something definitely and consider while you are talking to your potential clients in Saudis?
They're very tolerant to different cultures as long as these cultures do not insult their own traditions.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to my recommendations,
Yeah.
I would strongly advise not to tell a lot of local jokes because they may not understand. Don't speak about politics, especially internal
Mm-hmm.
politics in any country you're visiting, because you may not understand all the nuances.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't talk about things that are sinful in Saudi Arabia, like women,
Alcohol.
alcohol, pork. Don't tell any jokes about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the religion is still influences a lot the life in the country.
Absolutely, this is one of the most religious societies in the world that I have seen. Despite the religious rules being eased, like not compulsory to wear abaya, they also 2 years ago abolished the prayer times, which before were used to stop any business uh, at, at,
Mm-hmm.
at these times. They had to close their doors and they all had to go for praying. a lot of religious rules have been abolished, but still, in their mentality, religion plays a big role. And people still go to mosque. They still wake up at 4 a.m., 4:30 to pray at the sunrise. They respect the fasting. And they do fast in Ramadan. They do celebrate Eid. They are very close in their families, because every family has, if they have, let's say, father and mother living separately or in another city, they are visiting their families very often. That's a rule and a tradition. Also, arranged marriages are still the most common in Saudi Arabia. Not just you meet someone and fall in love and then you introduce it to your mother and father. No, you do it the other way around. You first go to the
Hmm.
mother or to the father, and then
Hmm.
you may meet the daughter sometimes.
Hmm. Okay, maybe the last question to you, and what would you advise? Yeah, the one main advice for Ukrainian businesses that are now looking to expand globally and consider Saudi as one of the destinations.
I would advise first, build your digital profile. It will help you not only in Saudi Arabia, but in any countries that you are going to expand to. Second, have patience. Don't rush with follow ups and anything, and think long term.
Great, great. Thanks a lot again, and thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you, Dmytro.